maybe it's just good to continue. This is some sort of party scene. Well, this is maybe still interesting. So the Randstad was being imagined as an idea, as a concept, at the period when the Randstad looked something like this. So you can still see very well the cities in the green open landscape, and you can see how the sort of the Randstad idea came about in a period when basically the Netherlands was still looking like more or less like the way it was looking in the 19th century. So the railroads being the most important infrastructure visible, only a couple of highways were being built in the 1950s, Schiphol airport being very small, the harbor of Rotterdam also very small, very much connected to the city still. And when we now look at the situation as it is currently, we see a completely different reality. So basically, no longer these different cities, but one big urban, almost uninterrupted urban field. And it's interesting that in our way of thinking about the Randstad, still this iconographic idea of this city, the ring of cities around the empty green heart, is still the one thing that is being kept up. So even though the situation has completely changed. Well, basically, I think it's interesting. This situation actually has two sides, you could say. The one side is the fact that we have a city here of about 7 million people who live and work in this area and do all the daily business in this area. And then on the other hand, we have the perspective of this Randstad being an internationally oriented metropolis, looking at very strong international clusters. So you can see a very internationally oriented side to this and a very local oriented side to it. And it's actually interesting to look at these two sides. And I think when you look at international orientation, you can see at least 5 very internationally oriented economic clusters that are the driving forces of the Randstad internationally, and set them on a basis of all kinds of daily activities in which we can hardly distinguish anymore a structure. So this, of course, this would be of no problem at all if we could continue this way of working. We have strong internationally oriented economies, bringing wealth to the nation, and we have, well, situations in which people can go about their daily business as they like. Why would this be a problem? Well, as Joost also mentioned in one of his first slides, there are a number of issues which we run into. Our water system is reaching its limits. It's still based on a structure which was put in there centuries ago. We have a process which is steering a lot of commotion in the Netherlands, which is something which is called verrommeling, which basically means the act of messing up. So we are really very much, publicly very much concerned with the fact that we lose our beautiful cities and our beautiful landscape in this process of urbanization too. Nobody knows what actually. So it says here the Netherlands every day loses the territory the size of one of the largest to this process of messing up. And of course, very well known huge congestion problem that we have here. It's so common that I could not even find a newspaper article anymore about it. And this diagram shows also the enormous rise. So imagine here the situation of the Randstad in, well, about 1960, so more or less the image that I showed of the Randstad in 1950, and the way we move about nowadays. The red being, of course, the way we use the car. So this is really a huge problem, which is very much connected with the way how the Randstad is organized. So basically, I think it will be interesting to try to see what kind of systems can we put in between that organize this level of the Randstad in order to reconnect, you could say, the internationally operating clusters and the big bottom of daily urban users. So what kind of metropolitan programs are there for the Randstad? Well, and I think I'm going to name three, because these three are the ones which were selected, you could say, by the association that I represent, the Delta Metropolis Association. And it's actually interesting that the association is indeed the only platform still existent which is looking at the Randstad unique, you could say, as one big urban conglomerate. And another fact of this association is the fact that we work together. We are an association of public parties, so governments, state, province, municipal level, NGOs, so basically groups of people who organize themselves around one or another topic, so being it landscape or recreation or well, you have numbers of these, and private companies. So private companies are also a member of my association and are interested in organizing this Randstad more efficiently. Even, and this is I think the most interesting, since last year it's also possible to become a member as a private person. And there are, this is actually my fastest growing group of members, people who are interested in organizing the Randstad because of their profession or because they just think this is a very needed subject. So basically, three programs which I think are interesting to develop further. First of all, of course, the transport system. This is an image that I think Joost also showed DeltaNet, which is an idea which was developed by the Delta Metropolis Association to rethink the network of the Randstad as one interrelated network. A network of both highway systems and train systems. So basically, this is very interesting that you have the highway and the train system seen as one interrelated system, which has at certain points hubs which interconnect the two. This is one important feature. The second important feature is that it looks at the land use around this network and the way the network functions itself. Well, I will show one example. This is of course a model and an idea of how something could be rethought. 90% of this network is in place, so it's just a way of the question of how do you use this network. Well,